Hello. Following a discussion, I want to say that one of the toys that I used to play with when I was a child, and which several of my relatives had toys similar to also, before my parents invested in a piano, was a small cardboard booklet full of nursery rhymes and Christmas carols with a small plastic keyboard, just one scale attached to it, from C to C, in little different coloured plastic notes. Now, these booklets weren't very expensive for what they were, and they weren't highly distressing noises for parents either. Um, the noise that came from them was melodic, and you could obviously vary tunes later on and make up your own tunes. And there were enough notes for you to be able to do that. Or you could learn to read music, possibly for the first time, and play along and sing along to the tune of a nursery rhyme or carol. Um, they were absolutely great, those toys. Really entertaining, and the sense of achievement you got when you were able to successfully play a carol and follow the music with the conjoined keyboard was wonderful. So I don't know whether in Boys or some WH Smith's outlets they still sell those at all today. But I hope that they will continue to be made. Um, they are great, really great. You don't need a piano teacher at first to learn the basic. I mean, there weren't sharps or flats. There might have been F sharp actually involved, but mostly there weren't sharps and flats involved. But most of the basics of constructing and following most of the nursery rhyme and carol tunes could be attained, depending on what key the music was in. But certainly it was a great toy, really great. And the also I'd like to recommend magic colouring books and colouring books generally. Um, some of the outlines when they're in black ink of colouring books, and the larger than life type figures, often cartoonish, are all almost hallucination inducing. But that combined with the activity of choosing colours and colouring, or using a little bit of water to bring out magic colours, um, is wonderful. It's calming. It both sort of it makes a state of concentration that is a magic state away from all the arguments and all the it's wonderful. It keep it the sense of calm and constructive occupation is great. So I recommend colouring books and magic colouring books also. And yes, also for slightly older children, perhaps, although colouring books are now available for adults as well. and can bring a wonderful sense of achievement. Some people don't have the confidence or don't feel confident enough to be able to draw their own designs or make their own pictures. Some do, and it's great for those who do. But colouring itself can be a really lovely, worthwhile activity. But strategic games, chess is obviously great. But for those who may find the rules of chess and the various different pieces hard to fathom and take note of and learn at first, and the various moves each chess piece can make, would find drafts really a very good game. Drafts, the amount of time I spent playing drafts when I was younger and feeling such a sense of companionship playing drafts with my nana particularly, and my sister. It was wonderful. I mean, unlike a game of like Ludo, which can be fun as well for a family of four, um, it does involve some strategy, and it's not just a game of the luck of the dice so much. It is something that you can work at and get better at, and enjoy. You don't have to be a genius to follow the basic rules at first. So I recommend drafts as well. And both for children and for adults, I strongly recommend collage activities. A Pritt stick, or a Yoo-hoo stick, and various pieces of leftover newspaper or materials, or yes, sometimes material if there are off-cuttings from sewing available. It doesn't have to be the squares, the patchwork, which became quite expensive actually in shops, especially for patchwork, because you're going to be cutting them hopefully into other shapes as well. Sometimes you can sew around the edges of them if you want to finish them off and press them down, or stop the material from fraying. Sometimes you can use a kind of binding that's available from some shops, that's like a gauze that can stop the material pieces you cut out from fraying when you iron them on. So that's great, and collage with newspaper and photographs and colours. Fortunately, in many respects, I mean, I don't know how many people necessarily agree with it, but the activity that can be gleaned and enjoyed and can be remarkable fun and creativity, and you can definitely get a sense of achievement from it, of cutting up a Sunday Times newspaper, using various photographs to construct color, color well, if there is a large color picture of a football match or something like that, you might just want to use some of the green, or then put the green in a different place, or use a bit of the shirt to make a little bit of a different shape, or you can draw the pictures. You don't have to just use shapes. You can draw and then colour in using patches of collage. And that too is a remarkably fun and not necessarily expensive activity that is definitely worthwhile for both children and adults. I also wanted to mention for Christmas, I haven't tried it yet because I have very little company, in fact. But my cousin bought me a Harry Potter Scrabble set and board. Now I think Scrabble is wonderful for both older children and adults. Scrabble is wonderful. It's a great game. I don't know how much confusion the Harry Potter aspect adds to it. Um, Certainly, I think it might make it fresh again for some people as well. So I'm not putting it down at all. I look forward in the future to having a game of Harry Potter Scrabble.